Today we're here for the trial for Edmond Dantes, aka the Count of Monte Cristo, aka Abby Busoni, aka Lord Wilmore, and aka Sinbad the Sailor, for the charges of criminal trespass, battery, conspiracy for attempted murder, conspiracy for forcible detention and confinement against one's will, and criminal trespass.
The prosecution and defense have agreed upon a way of communication because Ali is mute.
When Dantes told you were being poisoned, did you believe him?
No. I did not do anything because whenever I got there, Bear Louise was dead. Madame de Saint Méran was also dead.
He was kind, caring, and brave.
Objection, we would like to bring evidence up to the stand.
Court's now back in session. Defense, next witness.
We would like the prosecution and the defense has agreed on a speaking word for Routier. He will blink once and hold it for a second or two for yes and blink multiple times for no. If Routier shall ever want to further explain anything, we have an approved dictionary to where we will recite the letters of the alphabet until they stop and go through the dictionary with them.
And that dictionary's been agreed upon with the prosecution?
Yes.
Gary, do you understand the directives with the witness? You may proceed.
Do you allow Edmund into your home?
Multiple blinks for no.
Were you upset that he was in your home?
Again, multiple blinks for no.
Did you ever see Dantes doing anything wrong or harmful to anyone? No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution, now you may approach your witness.
Did you see Dantes enter the house as Abby Busoni?
Was that one long blink or multiple blinks for no?
Were you aware of the Count's familiarity with the poison?
Multiple blinks.
Did you know of the poison that was used to kill Louise?
Again, multiple blinks.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. You can only imagine how difficult it is to talk during allergy season for you. Defense, your next witness.
We'd like to call up Danglars again back to the stand.
Okay. Please approach the bench.
What did you not like about Edmund that made you, and I quote, ruin his life?
There was nothing that I did not like about him. I was jealous of his success, but I was still liked him as a person.
Why do you say this? Like, in more terms, what success were you jealous of?
Well, he had just been promoted captain, and he was in love with a beautiful woman, and it seems like everything in his life was going well for him.
Was your true intentions to put him in prison?
No, it was not.
Did you steal the 5 million francs from Edmond Dantes?
No, I
From
did
the
not.
bank?
No, I did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine?
No further questions, Your
All
Honor.
right, you may step down. Defense, next witness.
We would like to call Pepino to the stand. Did you take Danglars?
Yes.
Did you give him the choices to leave?
We told him we'd do anything he asked. He never asked to leave.
Were you kind to him?
We gave him what he needed as long as he paid, and we gave him somewhere to sleep and bed.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution.
Why did you agree to aid Luigi Vampa in his kidnapping of Baron Danglars?
He is my boss. I follow his orders, and I also respect him. So that made me want to do it out of respect for him too.
Were you aware that Edmond Dantes, under the alias of the Count of Monte Cristo, presented the idea of kidnapping Danglars to Luigi Vampa?
Yes, I was aware. I heard them talking about it, and then they told me about it.
Why did you refuse to give Baron Danglars any food without him paying an enormous sum for it?
He was staying with us, and if he wanted food, he would have to pay for it.
If Danglars refused to pay the prices put into place, would you have allowed him to starve to death?
We would have, just like how people might turn a blind eye to someone on the streets in desperate need of food if they can't pay for it.
Yes.
Objection relevance. Just because he wanted to say it doesn't mean he can't.
No, but if he answered with extra information we didn't need to know, he could have been trying to hide something he could have been trying to hide something behind that last sentence.
All right, jury, please remove the last statement given from your records. All right, any further questions?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, cross-exam?
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may sit down. Defense, next witness.
We would like to call Sir Edmond Dantes up to the stand.
All right.
Were you aware that Madame de Villefort killed herself?
I was not aware.
Did you give Madame de Villefort the poison that she used to kill herself?
Yes, but she claimed it would be to help her for her painting episodes.
Further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution?
Were you aware that the poison you gave to Madame de Villefort could be used to kill 5 people?
I was not aware of this.
So are you saying that when it stated in the book that one drop would have, when you were speaking to Madame de Villefort about her son Edouard who had fainted, you gave him 1 drop, you said 1 drop.
Objection leading.
I was asking him if he was lying in the book, because in the book it does say that 5 drops or 10 drops would have killed him, 5 would have caused him to have a heart attack, and 3 would have made him go unconscious.
But didn't he say in the book only take 1?
Correct, but he did just say that he had no idea that it would have killed him.
So for the state of the argument, if the witness has made a prior statement about their knowledge of the amount of poison, the witness can answer the question. As far as asking the witness for any information to elongate or try to perjure themselves, let's make sure we stick to the facts that are relevant. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you may answer the question.
Do you feel that you went too far with your revenge plot?
I do.
At what point do you feel that you took your revenge too far?
I feel that I took my revenge too far when Danglars almost went crazy.
Why did you enter the Villefort's home through a secret entrance?
I entered to help Valentine.
Why did you assume the role of Providence?
I assumed the role of Providence to fulfill the duties of God.
What were your intentions in kidnapping Baron Danglars?
My intentions were to keep him there until he paid what he owes.
Do you feel that your escape from prison was wrong?
I do not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine?
No questions, Your Honor.
You may step down. Defense, witnesses, or any evidence you'd like to submit?
We would like to call Maximilian Morel to the stand. Were you with the Count at the duel?
Yes.
Objection, relevance.
Explain.
The duel is not relevant to this trial. In our charges, we are putting Edmond Dantes on trial for the attempted murder, or conspiracy and attempted murder of Madame Saint-Laurent. Not Madame de Villefort. The duel is not relevant in this case.
Defense, can you prove relevance on this line of questioning?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So.
Well,
witness-
before the trial took place, we were told that that it was for the duel, and they never told us otherwise. for that charge.
However, we clarified this morning that it was for conspiracy for murder and cruelty to children with the poison that Madame de Villefort was given by Edmond Dantes acting under the alias of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that was suicide.
Yes,
The
but
duel
she
is
also...
irrelevant.
The objection was for admitting the question for the duel. What I need to know is the relevance of the duel for the line of questioning. What are we trying to prove with the line of questioning in regards to the duel?
Nothing, Your Honor.
So if the duel has nothing to do with the charges, then the objection is sustained. Next question.
Were you aware of what was going on in Valentine's home when Edmond Dantes, under the alias of the Count of Monte Cristo, was in there?
No, all I was told was that the Edmond Dantes would help my dear Valentine and save her. For all I know, she was dead.
Were you under the impression, or not, did you ask Edmond Dantes to help save Valentine?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution,
No further questions, Your Honor.
you may step down. Defense, next witness.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Prosecution, do you have any further witnesses or evidence you want to introduce?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so now we will start our closing arguments. We will start with the prosecution. You may address the jury with closing statements.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to these witnesses we have brought up. The defendant, Edmond Dantes, has spoken, as have the other witnesses. Just to recap what we have learned. As clearly stated in Chapter 46, Dantes, under the alias of Abbe Busoni, found Caderousse breaking into the Count of Monte Cristo's house, also known as Edmond Dantes, who was also under the alias of Abbe Busoni. We have presented that evidence to the jury. In the case of murder conspiracy, Edmond Dantes, under the alias of the Count of Monte Cristo, provided Madame de Villefort, the murderer of Madame de Saint-Méran, Monsieur de Saint-Méran, and Burroughs, with the poison used to murder the above-listed victims, and was used in the attempted murder of Valentine de Villefort. Cruelty to children is used in the same case, supplying Madame de Villefort with the poison used to kill Edouard de Villefort. For both charges of criminal trespass, Valentine de Villefort has provided us with enough evidence. Edmond Dantes, under the alias of the Count of Monte Cristo, broke into Monsieur de Villefort's house. By renting the house next door under the alias of Abbe Busoni, he was able to access an outside door that connected to the library, which had a door that opened into Valentine's room. In the case of confinement against one's will, Dantes used his connections with Luigi Vampa and his thieves gang located in the room. Using these connections, Vampa and Pepino, a trusted member of the gang, along with the members of the gang, were able to fully kidnap Monsieur Danglars from the road on which he was traveling. The smugglers, under Dantes' orders, put Danglars into a cell and refused to feed him or hydrate him unless he gave them 1 million francs, even for a meager piece of chicken or a cup of water. Lastly, Edmond Dantes was imprisoned in the Chateau d'If for 14 years, at least 3 years of which he plotted his escape. After the untimely demise of Abbe Feria, Dantes used the bag in which Feria's corpse was to be kept to deliver him from the prison. He was taken out of the prison in the bag, thinking he would be buried in a grave, but instead was thrown into the ocean. Dantes attempted to swim to the shore until he was picked up by traveling smugglers. In conclusion, the evidence presented has, in the prosecution's opinion, clearly demonstrated the guilt of the defendant. Thank you for your time.
Defense, closing statements.
We again thank you for listening to our witnesses and statements. Just to restate our points. Our client, Monsieur Edmond Dantes, did not attempt murder because the fact was it was suicidal, and if anything, Villefort was at fault. He did not trespass because Valentine let him in. He did not commit battery because aggravated burglary Caderousse broke into Dantes' home and tried to stab him by castle doctrine. He had the right to defend himself. My client was wrongly imprisoned in the first place. He wasn't cruel to any children. He wasn't an accessory to murder because he did not help kill anyone. Forcible detention or confinement to another one's will doesn't apply because it does apply, but it was his money that he stole. The 5,000 francs, he just wanted his money back because he promised him he would have his money back. Or criminal trespass because he was allowed in by a family member. We want to thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, jury.
All right, members of the jury, your job at this point is to decide whether or not the Count of Monte Cristo, Edmond Dantes, Abbe Busoni, Lord Wilmore, and Sinbad the Sailor is guilty of the charges brought forth to you today. Both sides have brought up arguments. We're going to now we're going to convene so the jury can make their decision. Court is out. Court's now back in session. Jury foreman, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
What say you?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Edmond Dantes, innocent of criminal trespass, Class 1 misdemeanor, innocent of battery, Class 2 misdemeanor, innocent of conspiracy for attempted murder, Class 1 felony, and cruelty to children, guilty for Class 4 felony accessory to murder, innocent for conspiracy for forcible detention and confinement against one's will, Class 2 felony, innocent for criminal trespass, Class 4 felony, and guilty for escape from prison, Class 3 felony.
Edmond Dantes, you have been found guilty of accessory to commit murder and escape from a penal institution by a jury of your peers. For those charges, you are going to be sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole and hard labor.